Okay.
Yay. Okay, well, let's just jump right in. All right.
All right.
Tell me your name and where you're from.
My name is Dalijah Francois, and I'm originally from Ohio, but living in New Jersey right now.
Okay, cool. When did you start pole dancing?
So I started pole 2007. I can't believe it'll be 20 years next year, which is
Wow.
really crazy.
Yeah.
And I started because they were offering it at my gym, Crunch Gym in New York City. I had just moved to New York, fresh out of undergrad,
Mhm.
graduated from Ohio State, go Bucks,
Mhm.
and was at my gym. One of my friends was like, "Oh my God, we have to try pole dancing. We have to do this." And I was very hesitant, but then I did it, and I always say it was like love at first spin. So
Oh, okay.
2007.
2007. So, do you remember anything specific about that class? Like you walked away and were like, "This is hard as crap," like, or like, "Oh, I got this."
Right. I definitely remember it being hard, but
Hmm.
it feeling like freedom, it feeling like fun, it just feeling like this was the most invigorating thing that I had ever tried.
Hmm.
And I knew that I liked the way that it made me feel mentally, how it made
Okay.
me feel like physically. I was able to tap into my sexy, I guess you would
Hmm.
say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just never looked back.
So you're taking classes. How long were you taking classes as a student before you started being an instructor?
Oh man, I started taking class 2007,
Hmm.
and I did not start being an instructor until about 2012, 14.
Well, what made you decide to become an instructor?
Well, it's funny because when I started, there wasn't really that many instructors to begin
Mm,
with. So
yeah.
it was like kind of few and far between. I am a student of, one of the babies of Body and Pole.
Yeah.
So in New York City. So when I started, I actually started as like a work study. Well, no, rewind. Actually, the people who started Body and Pole are the same ones who brought the pole dancing to Crunch.
Mm,
And so it was Kira and Leanne and a few
yeah.
others. And then as they started to evolve that program, they like opened their own space. And I remember the studio used to be in the back of a yoga studio. You had to like go through the classes. They only had like two poles up
Yeah.
and everything. It was like very much like, oh yeah, we secretly have pole dancing in the back if you want to go see it. And then they moved to their own space like a few years later, and I started taking
Okay.
classes there.
Okay.
And then by 2013 is when I did work study. So I completed a whole work study program at Body
Okay.
and Pole for a whole year where I, cleaned the studio and
Yeah.
was a work study and did all of that and started shadowing. And kind of like halfway through is when they were like, you should be an instructor. I was so nervous because,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm being taught by some of the greats like Michelle Stanek and Marlo and Rebecca Starr and all of
Hmm.
them and Kira Johannesson, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm on this level to be
Right.
able to do this. You guys are teaching me, and now I'm that next generation, like
Hmm.
literally second generation
Yeah.
pole instructors. And they were like, no, you could do it. So I really started with like intro 13. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I always
So,
say this. I'm sorry, I have to say
no.
this because I always say this because I had a huge amount of time to be a student and
Mm,
to really hone in on what I was doing, and to feel like I was confident enough in what I was doing. I think now people like take class for like a month and they're like, I'm ready to be an instructor. And it's like, sweetie, no, you're not. Have several seats.
right.
And so I always tell people like, enjoy being a student, enjoy learning as much as you can, take as many classes as you can, fail as much as you can. Because once you're on that other side, people start looking at like you know everything as an instructor, and you don't. But also,
Yeah.
you just need that time to really like create your own style, because I don't think I actually created my own teaching style probably until about 2000. Like, so it was like 2 years of me
Mm,
teaching and just kind of taking what I knew from them and
yes.
then like spitting it back out. But then as I got more confident, it really took that much time to get confident that I was like, okay, I can kind of create and do my own thing.
I appreciate you saying that because a lot of people, especially now, because, you can learn on the internet, you can learn via the app, which is great. I think the accessibility of Pole is great. But people are like, I did the certificate and
100%.
now I'm ready to teach. No, that means you have the book knowledge. You have the baseline book knowledge, but you
Yeah.
don't know the person who says, I've done 100 hours of yoga and I can invert. Well, you can invert on the floor maybe, but with the apparatus that's spinning and now you don't know your left from your right. And oh, by the way, you didn't tell me that you get vertigo when you go upside down. So like you need the practicum. And then also, which I tell people, is like once you start teaching, you kind of make a decision of where your skill level is going to go. You're like, I'm either going to ramp down on how much I'm teaching, or, I'm going to be like, I'm real comfortable at this level and this is where I'm going to be at
Yeah.
until I can, pivot and change.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to say I maxed the level that I could get to,
Mhm.
because I was pretty
Yeah.
advanced my level, and then as time went on, it was like, okay, I don't have time. That's the thing, you don't have as much time to pour into your training,
Yeah.
and so you kind of like plateau or like
Yes.
settle out a little bit if you're not putting in that time. So I tell anybody who's listening, please wait to be an instructor. Please wait.
Mm. Yes. So you said in 2015 is where you kind of came into your own styles. I know we talk about creating movements. Movements have existed forever, but what did you maybe widely popular make
Um,
available to the world or a type of style?
I mean, I know for sure the biggest contribution that I have had to the pole dancing industry has been Black Girls Pole.
Black Girls Pole.
Exactly. I love that you have the sweatshirt on. Biggest contribution, hands down, was the creation of Black Girls Pole. And then as far as me as a mover and a
Mhm.
movement based person, I would definitely say my style is kind of, it's gonna be the flow and the grace, but
Mhm.
then I'm gonna like throw a back tuck in there somewhere. It's
Yes.
gonna be flowy, and then it's gonna be like she's gonna do some crazy spin pole that ends in
Yes.
like a flip something. So really kind of putting my gymnastics background with
Mhm.
the smoothness of pole.
That's exactly how I would describe
Yeah.
it. So talking about Black Girls Pole, when did that start?
Oh yeah. So BGP started 2014, which is so crazy because notice how I said I don't feel like
Hmm.
I felt confident in my teaching until about like 2015.
Yeah.
Black Girls Pole I started in 2014 really to kind of fill this void that I felt was missing in the pole dancing industry.
Hmm.
Coming from New York and coming from Body and Pole, there was a lot of bodies that walk through that space and a lot of people that, you get to teach and inspire and things. But I felt like there was almost like a misrepresentation
Yeah.
of Black women in the
Hmm.
pole dancing industry. And they kind of got pigeonholed into being only known for one thing. And
Yes.
so I wanted to open it up, and I really wanted other people to be able to pole dance and just use it for however they wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I started in 2014 at Body and Pole. I told them I have this idea. I want to get more Black women to pole dance.
Mm.
That someone off the street can just walk in and be like, "This is amazing. This has changed my life. How do I do this?" They were like, "The space is yours."
Okay.
So I held my first event at Body and Pole in New York City, 2014 June.
Yes.
And by that fall, I did a second one
Hmm.
in Atlanta
Hmm.
at Vertical Joe's, and then it just grew past what I could have ever imagined it growing to.
Yes. Yeah. I attended, one of the first retreats, I think the last retreat.
Yeah, wow.
So what made you decide to be like, hey, this has been amazing, but it's now time for me to pivot?
Everybody asked me this. This is the first time I've said this like on an actual like
Okay.
interview podcast, but
This is live breaking pole.
live breaking news. First time I'm having this interview since stopping. I think that people evolve.
Mm.
I knew that I was evolving, and I
Yeah.
knew that I wanted, there's so much more life that I have in me
Yeah.
that I wanted to be able to say, okay, that was amazing. I did this thing. I created this space. I'm evolving into a different person.
Yes.
And I need to acknowledge that instead of me trying to still do this when the passion was kind of fading.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
After doing it for 11 years and having a hell of a time doing it and being able to say, oh, yeah, I had a retreat in South Africa. Oh, yeah, I had a retreat in Iceland.
Yeah.
Oh, I did this in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
That was a lot, and it was heavy, and it was a lot of
Yeah.
energy to put out. But then I started to like kind of fizzle out, and after I had my second child, I was like, okay, I gotta pivot. There's other things that I just want to do and want to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah. I feel
I'm
that.
definitely creative.
Right, right. So when you think about your pole journey since almost 20 years, would you consider Black Girls Pole like one of the pivotal things in your pole journey or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you win the competitions, you
Yeah.
perform here, you perform there, you do so and so as a pole dancer in a video and all that. But really,
Mhm.
this is the thing that really kept me going. It was a really
Yeah.
big, huge moment in my life in the decade that I did it. And I
Mhm.
remember there were so many times that I wanted to give up, and there were so many times that I was like, "Oh, BGP's broke this month. Oh, nope, it's not broke." Okay, you know, the ups and downs of
Yes.
entrepreneurship. It
Yes.
grew me and stretched me in ways that I did not know were possible.
Hmm.
Because there was no roadmap of being an entrepreneur as
Yeah.
a black woman in the pole dancing industry, trying to bring more black women to it and give black women a platform for it. So I was learning as I
On the
went
job.
on the job, made so many mistakes. Oh my God. Delijah 2015, she was a mess.
Right.
She didn't know what she was doing. She thought she knew what she was doing, but she didn't know what she was doing. She was very insecure about what she was doing, but she knew there was
Mm.
something great. She let too many people do this. And then
Yeah.
finally I had to like silence the voices and just like really listen
Listen,
to my heart. And yeah.
I feel that. So when did you decide to open SADA?
Oh yeah.
She's
SADA.
like, I also, in the midst of this, I opened a pole dancing studio.
SADA was another kind of pivotal, huge thing
Okay.
because I had always told people if I'm ever telling you that I want to open up a pole dancing studio, please know that I have gone absolutely batshit crazy. Like, please know I have gone mad because I've seen it and I'm like, no, ew. And so when Sammy Pacone was my business partner in
Yeah.
it. When we decided to do this, we wanted to do it differently. We didn't
Hmm.
want to be like glued to and married to
Yeah.
the studio every day where we're there every day. And you know, you
Yeah.
see studio
The
owners
burnout is
really burnt
real.
out.
Yeah.
And we still wanted to be able to be creative in our own spaces. And
Hmm.
so we came up with the concept of, can this live as like a pole rental space, as a home for polers that don't go to studios, as a
Hmm.
space for people to rent out if they want to workshop something,
Yeah.
you know, still teach classes because we still need to build that clientele. And it was really, really cool
Yeah.
how it just came about. I think working with Sammy as a business partner, both of us think outside of like the box.
Hmm.
And it was really an amazing partnership that we did have with each other, and just an amazing friendship because we've known each other for years and years. We actually met in grad school that
Oh,
had
wow.
nothing to do with pole dancing. But we actually met because I saw her walking down the street and I screamed at her off of a balcony and I was like, I think I know you. We actually lived across the street and didn't know it. Yeah, and then as we got to know each other, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to grad school. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to the same school as you.
That's so
And
cute.
so we built our friendship over that and not pole, because she is such a home pole dancer. I'm
Yes.
coming from a studio. So I think the two of us coming together had
Hmm.
the ideas of like, what does a home poler want? What does a studio person know that needs to happen in the space to
Yeah.
make it, you know, to make it work? So SADA was really, really an awesome thing. And I'm sad that it did close.
Okay. Let's talk about it. It closed. I know
All,
you posted.
all the things closed in 2020.
Hey, it's okay. Closure isn't failure. Closure, sometimes things just have to stop.
Yes, 2025. I'm sorry. So SADA was going great. It
Yeah.
became a six-figure studio in a
Yes.
year. Yeah. Based off of the model that we had of just
Hmm.
becoming like a space rental space. And we
Hmm.
only ran 8 classes a week, I
Wow.
want to say. And the location that we were in was called Industry City, and our neighbors were just old and basically complained enough until they were like, you guys have to move because
Uh,
of the sound. Even though we soundproofed everything, we
yeah.
did everything that they told us to do. They knew that it was a studio, they knew that it was a
Yeah.
space, that there was going to be music. They knew we had neighbors. They even put us at the end, like, you know,
Yeah.
towards the end of the
Hmm.
hall. But the neighbors just literally would like disrespectfully like banging on the door, calling security on us, like
Mm.
for basically about for like 9 months.
Wow.
Yes, and it got to a point
Wow.
like, this is disrupting our business, and you guys said one thing and now you're saying another thing. We spent extra money
Yeah.
soundproofing and all of that, and they said, well, you can move to another part in the building. And we were like, this build out costs like
Yeah.
$50,000, from the
Hmm.
floors to the mirrors to the
Yeah.
painting to everything. You know, we don't just have that to say,
Yeah.
okay, let's just move. And then where they wanted us to move was actually next door to a kids gymnastics place, and we're like, that's not,
We about to have another issue.
we're gonna have a totally other issue. That's not gonna work, right? And so we at the end of the day decided like, okay, let's close on the physical space while we don't have like crazy debt and we don't have,
Yeah.
and yeah, we just made that decision. It was a hard decision. We sat
Yeah, I
on it
can
for a
imagine.
while.
Yeah.
Um, so
But I believe you have a retreat upcoming, right?
we do. We have a retreat coming up because we're still involved in the pole world. Sammy and I both feel like we still have things to offer. And so we do have a retreat in April coming up in New Orleans, which is going to be really
Yes.
fun.
That's awesome. So SADA will continue, but just maybe not in a physical brick and mortar.
Yes, and we're trying to figure out ways of like how do we want this to continue? Because you again, like there's still pieces of us that want that connection to pole and
Yeah,
to the people and to the community.
that's awesome. So let's also talk about your other thing. Who's your mama pod?
Yes. So few things, right?
Give it to me.
So closing Black Girls Pole, closing SADA, all in the last half of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and I said this on the podcast, I had this moment of almost not panic, but like this moment of like panic of like, oh my God, for a decade, people have known me as the it girl who started this and was in this and did that. And I was like, I still need my voice.
Yes.
And so with Who's Your Mama, I wanted to create it because now I'm moving more into that like motherhood and
Yeah.
that journey of becoming a mother and just things that are out there that women might not know about, pelvic floor and ADHD
Mm.
in women and, what it's like to have a baby and all that. So I really
Hmm.
wanted to be able to use a platform and have a podcast where I do interview different professionals. I have it and it's going, but
Yeah.
then I did not actually take the time to sit down and rest and be like, girl, you just
Mm.
had a decade of one business and like 2.5 years of another business. Like maybe you
Yeah.
just need to like figure it out. So Who's Your Mama is still going. It's
Yeah.
just going at a slower speed right now. Just because I'm still trying to figure things out.
And that's okay.
It's been a lot of ups and downs for me mentally, just even with getting adjusted to having two kids, all of that. So yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel that. And, we appreciate everything that you've contributed to the pole community. I'm a owner, so
Yes.
I understand these struggles that, people are like, oh, you can, no,
Yes.
like this is a lot. And you better be glad I didn't shut you down today.
Literally. Literally, yes. Yes.
So you talked about Black Girls Poll, like you felt there was a need. And so now in 2026, where do you see representation with Black pollers, different body diversity, identities? How do you see that showing up in the poll world?
We have been doing a good job of making sure that we are seen.
Hmm.
And I don't know if BGP was a little bit of the catalyst of it and like
Hmm.
kind of got it on its way, but I see it. I see it across studios because I still teach expert. So I'm
Okay.
one of the
Yeah.
expert master trainers. So I get to go to other spaces and I see it happening. It's almost like for me, I feel like I'm a grandma pole dancer. So I'm almost like I'm just gonna sit back and just watch y'all because I I believe in you. It's very much like, okay, Delijah, step back and like see what happens, you know? But I've seen it with the body diversity, with everything
Yeah.
just going on, and I love it. I love also that even PoleCon, I think that Colleen does an amazing job of having different showcases. And the Black Girls Pole Showcase will, still go on.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm just excited to see where the pole industry goes. And I'm excited to do this and kind of step back and be like, y'all got this. Because there's so many new baby polars coming up that the industry is growing and it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yes, it's a great thing. Did you watch the TV show? Oh my God, it's like a sketch show, Black Lady sketch show. Did you
No.
ever watch that? Oh my gosh. So there's a clip that says the Black Lady courtroom. And so the judge is black, the typist is black, the lawyer is black, the defendant is black, and they're like, Black Lady courtroom. And so I recently had a pole class. The instructor was black. All the students were
Right.
black. I was just like, Black Lady courtroom.
I love that. Yes. Yes. And you know that's crazy because that has happened to me before. Not just
Yes.
on Black Girls Pole retreats.
Yes.
But when I opened SADA, there was
Yeah.
one I remember vividly being like, everybody in this room is black. Oh my y'all don't understand. 10 years ago, it
Wouldn't
was
have
like
existed.
it was me.
Yes.
I was the token black girl, and I'm like, to see this change, and I could sit back and be like, good job well done. We're
Yes.
doing it. I don't gotta worry.
So what's next for you? So I know you're taking a break, but like you got your retreat coming up with Sada,
Yes,
and the podcast is coming along, at
yes,
its own pace and time that is
yes,
needed.
yes.
But do you still have any pole goals? Do you have any things that you're like, I want to get that? I want to do the thing. And it's okay to say no.
I do forever and always. I will be an artist. I will be
Mhm.
a mover. I will be a creator. And I get itchy to, pull more. But I
Yes.
also respect that there's a season to everything.
Yes.
And while I have a 1 year old and a 5 year old, so
Mm,
this is still very fresh. So,
yes.
I do. There's songs that I listen to. I'm like, oh, and that would go right there, and that would go there. Oh, yep, got the whole thing. Yep, that's it. And I just put it in my back pocket because I'm not done with pole.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that there's still something in me. As far as moves, no, I'm good.
Right.
I've been doing the same moves for like the last like 5 years. I am good there.
I feel that. I feel that.
I'm not trying to learn nothing new. I'm trying to get back the things that I had.
Right. Right.
So if I could get back the things that I had, and not even at the level that I was, maybe like half of the level that I was,
Yes.
I will be happy with that. I will always dance. I will always move. I will always, use pole as my movement and as kind of
Yeah.
like my outlet for sure for
I
creativity.
feel that. I feel that. I feel that. So, any final words? Any final words for us?
I don't know. There's so many words. I definitely say, as a pole dancer, take your time.
Mm,
If you want to be an instructor, if you are thinking about competing, if you're thinking about any of that, take your time in doing it and don't rush it because the industry will be here. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's getting bigger.
yes.
And there's just so many more moves that are happening. And when I say take your time, like get your foundation strong.
Mm,
You got to build pole on a strong foundation because you can only fake it through moves for so long until your body really tells you that you're doing something that's not right for it. So definitely get
mm,
your foundation for people. And then for people who want to create bigger spaces and platforms in the pole industry, do it. Just do it. And if you fail,
mm.
oh well, you fail, but there's space for you to fail. I failed so many times in Black Girls Pole. People don't know half the times that I failed, but I failed so many times and I just kept going, because like if you literally don't try it, you'll never know. But there's so much room in this industry for people to do different types of things. When I retire, I just want to direct pole photo shoots.
Yes.
Like, I just want to sit there with my coffee and my cane. Not coffee, so I'm a little stronger.
Move that leg out of the way.
Like, move your leg there. Nope, there. And give a look there. I hope you got that on camera and just like be a photo director for pole because I still like find joy in it. And I love watching people create their things. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
those are kind of my words. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yes. So
of
this was
course.
amazing. My
Thank
social.
you.
Thank you.